Good morning, friends. I want to extend a warm welcome to you today. Everyone is welcome here. You are welcome here regardless of your age, your race, your income, your religion, or the gender with which you identify. You are welcome here regardless of who you love, who you vote for, the regrets that burden you, or the mistakes you have made. In this safe community, we support each other in the sacred task of becoming, celebrate the transcending mystery of life, and rely on the transforming power of love. Here, we revere the words of the great teachers, such as Jesus, the Buddha, and Confucius. It is, however, the task of every UU to be their own Buddha, their own Jesus, their own Confucius. It is our work as a community to walk with each other along the spiritual pathways that lead towards happiness, compassion, and life fully lived. And while we are a safe harbor where there is solace and healing, we are also a launching pad from which we are propelled into the tumult of life to live courageously, justly, and lovingly. In this sacred place, we create the structures that lift up the downtrodden, set the captives free, and heal the brokenhearted. Here, we have learned that to be fully human is to be fully divine, and that with a little help from our friends, we can each tell our own unique story. Thank you, Harvey. Let's continue now with our chalice lighting. Ted Kitterman will do that, son of Barry Kitterman, will do the announcements for today. Not the announcements, but the chalice lighting.
We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of the sky, the thresholds we stand on this morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming.
Excellent. Thank you, Ted. Thank you for those very lovely and appropriate words. Okay. Thank you. Usually when I get here in the mornings, on Sunday mornings, Walt's usually here to greet me. And today he got to talking, he and I got to talking about something that may be an issue on some folks' minds. Turns out that a mutual friend of ours has stopped being a Unitarian Universalist because we become too Christian. Well, the thing is, we are Christian derivative. We just didn't grow up in a cabbage patch and get plucked out. We are derived from Christianity. But the thing is, just because we are Unitarian Universalists does not mean we reject other religions. We honor the other religions. We respect. I love the old religions. I love Buddhism. I love Taoism. I love Christianity. I love Judaism. They're great religions, and they all have been in the past and are still for many people vehicles through which they apprehend that dimension of their life, that mysterious dimension that gives life meaning, that gives life vitality, that makes life interesting. Some people call that God, other people call it the self. It doesn't make any difference. Now, in this congregation, we have many different people. We have people who are atheists. We have people who are Christian, people from Jewish backgrounds, people who are pagan, agnostic, all kinds of people. All of them coming at religion their own way. And that's, I think, the genius of what we are about. We are a religion where we walk with you along the pathways of life for you to find your own way, to find your own path. What's your own path going to be? I may not, care for some parts of paganism, and and the Tao Te Ching may leave me cold. But if a friend of mine, or if any of us want to follow that pathway at this particular point in their lives, I am for it, because these old pathways, they work. They've worked for millions of people over thousands of years. They're good stuff, and we should not be contemnatory of the old religion. Now, Granted, some of us are hurting a bit from church experiences we've had in the past where, excuse me, where we've been hurt by people in churches. But people are people. And just because we've got roughed up in church, some of us have, I've had a really good experiences with congregations, never really been roughed up by anyone, but I have seen people hurt. I've seen people fight. I've seen people fight over what color napkin to use at the potluck. You know, I mean, oh really? Really? We're gonna fight about this? But at any rate, that's what the message I want to get across to you. This is a religion of religions, and you may choose a variation on the religion you grew up in, you know, a kind of Judaism or a kind of Catholicism, or you may choose just something else. You may choose a complete atheism or nature mysticism. Whatever you choose, you know, we're going to walk with you in that choice. We're going to help you walk, and we're going to walk with you together. So at any rate, the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes are what we're going to study today, and they come from the Sermon on the Mount, and they're really good stuff. And the Beatitudes are really pretty good examples of religion, of religious precepts that really work for everybody. These are not denominational kind of things. They are basically how to be. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Okay, that's about how to be in life, and it works if you're an atheist. It works if you're a pagan, and it doesn't make any difference. So let's go start with, and we're going to go down the list, and we're going to go through the Beatitudes, and we're going to look at them from maybe give me a little Unitarian Universalist lens. And then we're going to have a little fun. We're going to come up with some of our own Beatitudes, because why should Jesus get to have all the fun? I mean, we got some Beatitudes in us too. Liz has got like 14. I can see it in her face. So, okay. So the first Beatitude is blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, before I go on, I should talk about what the kingdom of heaven is. The kingdom of heaven is Jesus's code words, that they were his shtick, his code words for really being tuned in to life, to really living the vital life, really being with it and in it and connected, not just to society, but connected to the depth of your life, to the deep well of meaning and wisdom and vitality that flows through all of us, but that we get lost from time to time. You know, we lose our way from time to time. So the kingdom of heaven is Jesus's code word. And what he was trying to do with the Jews at that time, the Jewish people were you know, they believed that if they followed the law, if every Jew followed the law for 24 hours, that the kingdom of heaven would come. But they thought the kingdom of heaven wasn't being tuned in. They thought the kingdom of heaven was a real kingdom, with a real theocracy, with a Jewish emperor or king sitting on the throne. And Jesus was saying, no, at least I think he was. Who knows what Jesus was saying? I mean, he's been tinkered with over the years so much. But I think what he was saying was that no. We're not talking about physical kingdoms with armies and state religions and that sort of thing. We're talking about the kingdom of the heart, the kingdom of the spirit that we all have. And I think it's, again, everybody has an internal kingdom. And so to be, blessed are the poor in spirit. So what does that mean? What it means to me, and once again, I'm interpreting it, what it means is that, you know, especially in this day and age, we fill ourselves up with stuff. You know, our spirits get full up, you know. Oh my gosh, I talk to people, and many times I find them consumed by some drama that is happening in their church or their garden club or something of the sort. Anyway, they're just full of this stuff, and it's, you know, it's important stuff to process. But you know, the thing is, getting how to sweep the floor of the soul sometimes, to sweep the floor, clean things out, so that those undercurrents that work in all of us, so that so that we can recharge our spiritual batteries. So, at any rate, I have more to say on that, but I realize that there was an important part of the service that I skipped because I do not have a bulletin up here. And so I'd like to ask, I've asked several people to come forward and share their perspective. Then I'm going to come back and join in the service on a person that they admire. So let's have that. John, why don't we begin with you? And you can say a few introductory words, if you would, please, John.
Well, when Jim asked me to,
Oh, yeah.
when Jim asked me, excuse me, I am so sorry. Can I take it out? I want to move with it. Okay, thank you. When Jim asked me to talk about a person I admire, I immediately thought of this person. He was one of my 3 childhood heroes. I have a picture of him here. Excuse me. The person I'm talking about is Willie Howard Mays. He was a baseball player for the New York Giants. He was one of my 3, as I said, childhood heroes. Willie was born in May of 1931 in Westfield, Alabama. When he was 17 years old, he began playing for the Birmingham Black Barons as the Negro Leagues in Alabama. And then in 1950, he was drafted and selected by the New York Giants. In 1951, he was Rookie of the Year for the National League. And what was one of the many notable things, actually, in many lists, he's considered the greatest baseball player ever. Willie is still alive, by the way, he's 92. Greatest baseball player ever. ESPN did a quantitative analysis, and he was beaten out by Babe Ruth. Some of us disagree with that, but that's okay. One of the most memorable, I grew up in New York City at the time, and so I was a New York Giants fan, and never accepted the fact that they moved to San Francisco. It broke my heart. I was actually at the second to last game that they played. I used to love watching Willie play. He played with such joy and grace and skill, unbridled joy. And he would do things like before and after games, he would go out, and Polo Grounds, the home field of the Giants, was in Upper Manhattan. Some people know it as Harlem. And he would go out and play with the kids in the neighborhood, play stickball with them, which was a sport that we all played back then. I don't know if the kids still play that. Anyway, I chose Willie because he showed me that you can, and here's a picture of Willie with, I don't know can you guys see that? Okay, picture of Willie with his manager, Leo DeRocher, in 1954, just after he returned from the U.S. Army, where he served for 2 years. Anyway, Willie taught me as a kid that, number one, you can be supremely excellent at something and take such great joy in that. And I think you're lucky in your life if you end up doing something that gives you great joy, and which you're excellent at. I discovered that probably later on in my life when I discovered I had a talent for programming in a statistical analysis program and would love to do strange things with it. And I took joy in that. It's odd, I know. But anyway, so Willie Mays, person I admire greatly. Thank you.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Good job, John. Thank you. Laurie, would you like to share your person you admire?
I was wondering if I prepared this for nothing a minute now.
Wondering or hoping?
A little bit of both, honestly. There's so many more people here today than I expected. But anyway, well, I fully intended to talk about, how do you move this down? Okay, about a famous hero, Harriet Tubman, or Ruth Bader Ginsburg. But as I thought about it, what kept coming up for me was my friend Joan, who goes all the way back to middle school for me. We've been friends ever since. And my friend Jones had like terrible things happen to her throughout her whole life, over and over again. And just to give you some flavor of it, when we were in high school, her father had a massive stroke. And because he came back, he came back mentally, but physically was very infirm. And her mom was a nurse full time, and so Joan had to do a lot of her caretaking for her dad. So you can imagine a 15, 16-year-old girl having to help her dad bathe and help her dad get dressed and everything when her mom was working. When we were in college, she was very sick and was diagnosed with Crohn's disease, which, if you don't know, is an autoimmune ulcerative colitis. It's kind of devastating. It's not life-threatening, but it's devastating physically. And it's something that's defined her whole life ever since. You know, it's you have crises that are severe and painful, and you can end up in the hospital and end up with surgery. And anyway, she's had so many surgeries, I can't even tell you how many. When we graduated from college, almost immediately, her dad died. Within a few years, her mom died. So by the age of about 25 or 6, she didn't have parents left. She just had her sister. You know, she grew up and, you know, she's gone on. She got married and she has 2 daughters who are in their 30s. She has grandkids, which are all great. But her daughters have also had a lot of really rough things. One of them was in a very severe domestic violence situation for years, where she was kept away from the family and abused horribly. But she's back now and she's doing really great. Her other daughter, her ex-husband, but the father of her children, who also, you know, was very close with the family, died of COVID in the early days at the age of 35, mainly because he was a plumber. So he had to go in and out of people's houses. And then it turned out he had a heart condition that no one knew about. Anyway, it kind of goes on, a lot of these kinds of things. But what I want to say about Joan is that she is absolutely the most vibrantly alive person I've ever met. She's fucking hilarious. I can say that. The kids are gone. She is just hilarious. She is so crazy. And she, I mean, literally, she's just so alive in the moment. What you were talking about, what did you say? The words you said about deciding what we're going to be today.
Yeah.
How today is going to be. For her, every day is just a joy. And I mean, she's not like a sweet. She's like just a wisecracking, like smart ass, but she's so funny. And the thing that I love about her is she can find the humor in every experience, every mundane thing. So just real quick, I don't want to go on and on, but real quick, she, like when her dad was, you know, when we were in high school and her dad was sitting there on the couch and couldn't really do much of anything, but his brain was there. They're like the funniest people. So they would just be always, they had like a routine going almost. So we were teenage girls and we would hang out over there at her house with her dad because it was that much fun. And like one of his favorite stories, one of our favorite stories was that you always tell over and over again, is how when she was really little, like 2 or 3, they took her to Santa. And of course she was terrified of Santa. So, but instead of crying, she said, "You son of a bitch," to Santa, which I love. And another thing, she could just make fun of everything. So when she has crises, she has to get to the bathroom immediately. Like the bowels won't wait. And she had the story once of how she was driving to work and it started in where she knew she had to get to a bathroom immediately. And she was just driving along really, really fast. And of course, the cop started chasing her and there's the siren and everything. And she's like, what am I going to do? Either crap my pants or wait for the cop or, you know, get to the bathroom. So she waits. I mean, she stops and the cop comes out of his car and she's like, I'll meet you at the McDonald's. And she just drives away. He's just like, gotta go. So she made it there. Anyway, she made it. And, you know, she explained to the cop and got out of the ticket anyhow, somehow. So, anyway, she just, without realizing it, she just brings joy and happiness into everyone's life. Her chosen career that she's had for, you know, 40 years now is working in nursing homes. She loves working with the elderly and with people who have problems, I guess, because of her own dad and helping him. She makes them laugh so hard every single day, all of those people. So anyway, I just really admire her. She has no idea how much I do. I've explained it, but you know, I don't think she fully gets it. Anyway, she's just taught me how, you know, you just live every day. You live to the fullest, you know, you make people laugh and you just have joy in even the most mundane moments. So thank you.
Thank you. Perfect. I'd looked those words up and there's nothing in the bylaws about that. So you're okay, Lori. Leanne, are you next? Oh, who's next? Harvey. Yes, I'm sorry, Harvey. You and Leanne look so much alike. So
This is like a Bozo Circus, right? who's up next, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, grew up on Bozo Circus. Anyway, good morning to all of you. I thought who to admire, and I thought, oh, I admire everybody. You know, life's tough. But then I thought, Mary Oliver. This is a book about Mary Oliver. Excuse me. You know, it always seems so easy, you know, when you say it to yourself, right? And then you stand. I guess because you know, it's such important stuff. Her and her partner, Molly Malone Cook, they started living together, loving together in the late 50s, time of Bats Domino, right? So imagine how tough that is, right? And I'm proud of this group for being, mic there, buddy. Being allies to our LGBT brothers and sisters and cousins. And, you know, it seems simple to me, but, you know, as you know, there's a group of people in this country and around the world that, you know, I don't believe in that LGBTQ stuff. It's like, believe in it. Well, you know, it's in the Bible. It's like, what? And we know which candidate they're voting for or will likely vote for. Anyway, I'm proud of our being allies of LGBT, and anyway, that was my. Anyway, of course, read as much Mary Oliver as you can, and whoever wants to borrow this book, I love to borrow books, especially when they come back. So this is one of my favorites. Would you like to borrow? Yeah. Anyway, it's about Sharon, right?
Thank you, Harvey. Perfect. Yeah, I actually I thought of Mary Oliver myself when I was thinking of this assignment, that some of her poetry really reaches. Now, next week we're going to be talking about, you know, the Beatitudes are one level of religious practice, but it's the rare genius like Mary Oliver are some of the musicians that can really reach into us and grab us by the lapels and really pull us into a transcending, I don't even want to use a transcending reality, just a reality of the profound realization that I'm not just a being, that I am being itself, that what I am is unsayable, a powerful mystery, and how thankful I am for that. So that's what the musicians do, that's what the poets do. And so thank you, Harvey. So your assignment is to dig up Wild Geese and read it for the end of the service. So we're going to end it with Wild Geese by Mary Oliver, if you will do that for us. So thank you, all three of you, for doing that. I will now continue with my, I don't know if I should continue with my, but I'll give it a try. So at any rate, the first one was being spiritually poor. Don't fill yourself up with a lot of mundane garbage. Leave a lot of room for the Spirit in you, for that deep well of resources that we all have in us. You know, I don't know what you want to call it, God, the self, instincts. It goes by a lot of names. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. I'm suspicious about that one. As I said, these kinds of things have been tinkered with a lot. The saying to Jesus, the book of Matthew, in which this appears in, was written probably around 80, 85, 90 AD, over 50 years after Jesus, in theory, left us. And another thing that makes me suspicious about it, or what makes me suspicious about it, is the fact that blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Now, once again, Jesus was not about an earthly kingdom, not about, at that point in time, the Roman Empire occupied Judea. Judea was on a caravan route between Egypt and Mesopotamia, and so it was a very important strategic a piece of ground to hold. And the Romans were just not nice people. You know, they thought that that they had a superior culture, and that they were doing these poor Judeans a favor by coming and and giving them their culture. Actually, it reminds me of one of the candidates for potential candidates for president, who said recently that we had done a favor for some of the people brought into slavery in this country because they'd come to learn a trade. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. There's an obscure theological term to describe that kind of thinking. What is it? It's asshole. Yeah. So you started it, Lori. Okay, let's go on. Blessed are they that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Okay, the thing is, once again, these are the kind of things that you do to sweep the floor of the soul, to prepare it to receive something from below or above or from wherever you can like to conceive of receiving it. That helps us to really live our lives. And so the thing is, join these kinds of activities. Join the Social Justice Committee. Work for justice wherever you are your place of work. Don't just lay down when someone tells a racist or a sexist joke. You see a candy wrapper beside the trash can, pick it up and put it in the trash can. These are the kind of little things that you can do for yourself to create a place for spiritual being within you. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy, or they shall obtain mercy. And this, I have to say, is actually a pretty good one. It's my contention that, generally speaking, not always, but what you sow is what you shall reap. If you are merciful, if you are gracious, if you are thankful, if you are loving, you will get that back. It actually, in this day and age where politics is so contentious, it is possible. Like last night, I was at a shindig, and I had a 45-minute conversation with a person who is totally on the other side of the religious and political divide, but we're just able to talk because I was able to respect her and be gracious towards her, even though I did not agree with her perspectives. But I was able to we were able to have a really nice conversation in which we laid out how we felt and how we thought about things. We also found some considerable areas of agreement, interestingly enough. Okay, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall obtain mercy. I don't exactly know what that means. The purity was a thing the Jewish people were really working on, and Jesus talked about purity too. About the idea that if you're angry at someone, it's as bad as if you hit them, or if you lust after a man or a woman, it's as bad as if you had sex with them or committed adultery with them. I don't know about that. I was at a prayer breakfast here about maybe 10 years ago, and there was a Muslim woman on the faculty at IUSB, and she spoke, and she did such a lovely job. I went up to her afterwards, and I extended my hand to shake hands with her, and somewhat stupidly, and she said, "I cannot shake hands with you. It's a matter of purity." And then I don't know why I did, like a trip hammer went off. I said, "Well, yours or mine?" But at any rate, turned out it was hers. So that's the answer to that question. So, okay, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Okay, now children of God again is a catchphrase. It's code for that condition of the soul of openness and possibility and to be lovingly and compassionately in the world, a condition of wholeness. I think that is really good advice. I try to do that when I can. The other day I was this is maybe not last week, but the week before last, Thursday actually. I walked out of the St. Joe Library St. Joe in South Bend, and there I had my grandkids with me, and there, just right there in front of me, there was this guy who was picking this bicycle but flinging it in the air and flinging it down, jumping on it. Took a knife and knife out and slit the tires. And I was just looking at him, and he said, "What?" And he said, I quote, and I'm quoting. Thank you, Lori, for this permission. He said, "What are you looking at, asshat?" I don't know what an asshat is. What are you looking at, asshat? And I said, well, I'm looking at a guy who's breaking the law, and I'm also looking at a guy who should stop. And you should stop because the damage you're doing to that bike isn't even close to the damage you're doing to your own spirit. That kind of allowing that kind of anger to take hold of one is very damaging to your heart, to the spiritual space that we need to create for wisdom. And blessed are they that are persecuted. Well, my wife is troubled. She scolds me because I get into conversations with people all the time. In fact, a lot of kids, my grandkids, a lot of times don't like to go with me because all Grandpa does is stop and talk to people. Because I enjoy talking with people, seeing how they are navigating their lives, what they present with. At any rate, on the drive home from the library, I got to thinking, oh my gosh, my wife's going to really be grumpy about this one. So I didn't talk much about it with the kids when I was driving home. While I drove, I parked, the kids jumped out of the car. Before I got in the house, they had ratted me out. They told the whole story. So at any rate, I think our marriage will survive that. I hope it does anyway. So anyway, that's the Beatitudes, and we don't have much time left. We don't have any time left really. But I would just remind you that I was at a service at a black church recently where the service went 2 hours and 35 minutes. So I'm going to take another 5 minutes. Would anybody here like to create a beatitude? Come forward, Janice.
I've been writing them as you speak.
Oh, okay.
Blessed are those who are grieving because, sorry, it's hard for me. Blessed are those who are grieving because they now realize grief means they loved. Blessed are the ones who die violently, displaced floaters, or without knowing what is happening, perhaps finding courage. Blessed are those who retrieve the death certificates, but learn fortitude with joy. Blessed are those who no longer desire the body after letting go, after passing, letting go their hand. Blessed are those who learn to be merciful after a lifetime of hating based on fear or lack of trust. Blessed is the peacemaker who once lost a crew on the Mekong Delta and later asked their spirits for permission to love. Blessed are those who die quickly, though there will be less and less time to say goodbye, to kiss their forehead. Blessed are those whose lips are sponge, needing water. Blessed are those who can't find tears, who don't cry, and those who cry.
Thank you, Janice. I hope to have more opportunity for that, but I think you can go. Dave, go ahead.
I'd like to thank everyone for being here. I actually have to get going. I'm on call and I'm going to do some procedures. I work in gastroenterology, and so my beatitude is, blessed are we who have the privilege to take care of others. And thank you for this community. I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this community, Dave. Yeah. And Harvey?
One final loan. If anybody wants to, I just bought this the other day. The Beatitudes from the Aramaic, translated from the Aramaic. It's a little different. I prefer it. I like it. Anyway, whoever wants.
Okay, thank you. Pardon me. Okay, we have a beatitude from Zoom. Charlene.
Blessed are those who find joy in even the smallest things.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Charlene.